Yep. Good evening, everyone. So, last session we stopped and were learning about this at if conditions. We discussed about ng if. We are learning about angular directives. I hope all these days you've done a good practice of all this. You've done all the practice up to now perfectly, right? Because you got some time, done all the practical work up to now. Everything fine, right? So in ng if we discussed about how to handle ng if using then and else. These two concepts we discussed. Now, as I told you in interviews, the question asked is, can we define multiple then blocks? Can we define multiple then blocks? Like else if, else if, else if. Can we define multiple then blocks? Answer is no. Angular allows only one then block in ng if directive. It will allow only one then block in ng if directive. It will allow only one then block. It will not allow multiple then blocks. Then the question asked is, then how to handle multiple conditions? How to handle multiple conditions? That means now question is, if multiple then blocks are not allowed, then how to handle multiple conditions? How we can handle multiple conditions? The answer for this is by using a technique called, we call this technique as content projection. By using a technique called content projection. This is very important. What is content projection? How this content projection works? This is a very popular question for Angular interviews for majority experienced people. That means for most of Angular experienced people, this question is asked, what is content projection? It's a very complex topic actually, content projection. In Angular, for experienced people, some special questions are there. I will tell you while discussing concepts. In that, one popular one is, what is content projection? You will hear like in interviews, they ask, what is change detection? What is change detection? What is content projection? Like that. Today we are going to learn this content projection. What is content projection? Actually, multiple then blocks we cannot write, but we can handle multiple conditions. How it is possible? By using a technique called content projection. Actually, the question here is, what is content projection? What is content projection in Angular? Projection in Angular. What is content projection? What is the concept of content projection? Content projection is nothing but it is the process. It is the process of creating a template explicitly and rendering into UI. This is called content projection. It is a process of creating template explicitly and rendering into UI. This mechanism is called as content projection. So what does this means? I will explain detailedly now. We will see detailedly about this. Actually, see, I will give you a simple diagram form. Generally here we have ng if. How do we write ng if? I am writing ng if. In this we will have a boolean expression or value. Then we have then. We have to define then block. After that else we have to define else block. Now the question asked here is, can we have another then block? We cannot have another then block. How many then blocks can be there in ng if? Only one. But we can handle multiple conditions. How to handle multiple condition is, actually what we do is, here we will create a then block. This is actually then block 1. This is then block 1. This is then block 1. Similarly, we have another then block. That means we will separately create these blocks. We have then block 1 and we have then block 2, then block 2, like this. Like this, you can have any number of then blocks. Any number of then blocks you can have. Usually what happens at this then block, we can render which block we want, we can render there. Understood? That means how many then blocks are in ng if? In ng if, how many then blocks are there? Only one. But at that then block, we can change different containers. In one situation, we can send one container. In another situation, we can send another container. In another situation, another container. So then block is only one, but different conditions can be handled. Multiple blocks can be rendered. That means the then block is only one, but containers are many. Which container you want, according to situation, you can render. Generally, how many then containers we can have? Any number of then containers we can have. And we can render them in that one location. That means actually in your general programming, what happens? You can write if, and if condition true, you can write another else if. You can write another else if. Am I right? Like that you can write many else if. But here it is not possible. Here you can write only one then. But here you can render block 1, you can render block 2, you can render block 3, depending on situation. That means how many then blocks can be there in ng if? Only one. Then how it will handle multiple blocks? It can handle multiple blocks by using a technique called content projection. What is content projection? In this technique, we create several then blocks. After that, we will decide which then block to display according to situation. So then block will be only one, but content will be different. And creating these templates explicitly and rendering these templates into the then block. This situation is called content projection. Content projection means what we are doing? we are creating these templates. These templates are separately created and they are added into this then block according to situation. We have to create the templates separately and we need to decide which template to display according to the situation. This mechanism is called as content projection. So content projection is nothing but, content projection means it is the process of creating a template explicitly and rendering into UI. And very important, templates are created by using template reference. Templates are created by using template reference. They are created by using template reference. It's a generic type. And very important, templates are rendered by using view child. They are rendered by using view child. The templates are created by using template reference and the templates are rendered by using view child. Remember, this is very, very complex topic. I will explain 2-3 times with example. Okay. Why? Because 100 to 100% in almost all experience interviews, you will find this as a question. So you must get prepared with concept of content projection and go to interviews for Angular especially. For freshers, they will not ask this much in depth. They will simply ask what is ngIf, how ngIf works, what is its purpose. But for experienced people, this is a very big topic. Even when you Google, you will find very less about content projection in interviews, because these kind of questions are asked for extreme experienced people. That means people who have 5-10 years experience, showing 10 years experience. For such people, these kind of questions are asked. And it is good as a very, very good as a fresher if you know this. What is content projection? That is very good, right? So I will explain with 2-3 examples so you can understand that. I will show you different condition first. So here, concept I hope everyone understood. Can we write multiple then blocks? We cannot write. How many then statements can be there in ngIf? Only one. But at that one then statement, several then blocks can be used. Then statement is only one. There several then blocks can be used. That is the technique. And the technique is called content projection. In content projection, 2 steps are there. First step, we have to create a template. Second step, we have to render that template. To create template, we have to use template reference. And to render template, we have to use view child. View child. Actually, why it is called view child? It is called view child because view is UI. Child means actually it is a part of UI. That means in the UI, you are adding a child. That means already UI is your HTML. In that you are adding a part, a portion of UI. That is why it is called as view child. View child is rendering a portion of UI. It is rendering a portion of UI. And very important, internally it uses Ajax. Many times people ask, will you teach Ajax in Angular? You should know that in Angular, everywhere Ajax is working. In every concept, Ajax is working internally. We should not be like, we have to learn separately Ajax here. In every concept, there is Ajax. Generally, people think Ajax means interacting with API. Ajax is not interacting with API. So, lot of interactions without API also are handled using AJAX, and view child uses AJAX mechanism. What is meant by AJAX? When it is doing the work, it will not block other works. Without blocking other tasks, if it can perform a task, then it is AJAX. If it is blocking, then it is synchronous. If it is not blocking, then it is asynchronous. Any task, if it is performed without blocking other tasks, then that mechanism is AJAX. That is, mechanism is called as asynchronous. Let's achieve this and see how to do that. First, I will give you one basic example how this content projection works. Let's see how. Let's take a simple example here. I will create one component. So I will create a component here. Let's go to components folder. And in the components folder, I am generating a component. ng generate component. I will give as content projection. Okay. Skip test. I am giving content projection component. I am creating a component called content projection. Okay. Now let's keep this in the startup. In app module, we will keep content projection in startup. Okay. And in index.html, I am giving app content projection. App content projection. Okay. Let's run this and see. Currently content projection works. Okay. Now let's go here and see the basic example first. Here I am using, here I am going to components, content projection, HTML. Here I will create a div. So in this, I will put class container fluid. Here I am keeping a heading, content projection demo. Okay. Here we will keep one div. And here we are adding, you know how to create templates. How many then blocks we need? Suppose I need 2 then blocks. Then I will write like this, ng template. So I will give hash. This is block 1. Okay. This is then block 1. That is just message I am giving. I will use another ng template. And here we will define hash. This is block 2. And this is another one. What is it? Then block 2. We have 2 then blocks. And we will use another one, ng template. This is else block. Okay. And here we will define hash. What is it? Else block. I will give else block. So block 1, block 2 and else block. We have 3. Now how to display them? Here we have to use ng if. What is the condition? So condition, we will just keep any condition. Already we know if it is true. Am I right? If it is true, which block should come? So we want, so then I am giving here block 1. I am adding block 1. Else. So what we have to use? Else block. So we are defining else block. Like this we are configuring. If true, then which block will execute? Block 1. That means now you can see it is rendering then block 1. Now the question here is how it will execute block 2. Can I write another then here? Not possible. You cannot have another then here. Here then can be only one. But here we have to change block 2. Then you can see second block will come. That means how many then blocks you can have? Only one. But in that location you can change. You can change. That means you can have any number of templates and you can change the templates here. Now the question here is how you will change those templates dynamically, situation wise. One condition matching, one block should come. Another condition matching, another block should come. Another condition is matching, another block. Like that you can have multiple decisions. Same like if with else if. We can write multiple else if, multiple choices, right? You see here, see what we are doing is this currently then block is using block 1. Whether to use block 1 or block 2 or block 3, we can have any number of blocks. I can write another also. Let's see. I will use another template and here I will use 3 and this is block 3. Now the concept is we should able to change these blocks according to situation. Then how do we do that? How we can render these templates? That means why it is called content projection? Because it will decide which content to project according to situation. And it will pick up the content and project it in the UI. Okay, so what is the meaning here? This then block will be changing. It is not standard. Currently we are using standard. If this then block is changing, observe carefully. It is of what type? It is of what type? Template reference type. That means every then block is considered as a template. Every then block is considered as a template. So what we have to do is we will go to the TS file. In the TS file, we need to import two classes. One is template reference class. Another one is view child. Template reference is used to create template and the view child is to render. Okay. Now what we are doing here, we are creating here first we are creating public. We are creating public. I am giving then block. I am giving then block. It is of type template reference. Template reference is a generic because template means HTML, logic and styles. Everything will be there in a template. So its data type is any. That means it's a generic any type. By default, it is having nothing. We are expecting the template to come dynamically. So its type will be null and it will be assigned with null. Currently, then block is empty. Currently, then block is empty. Nothing is there. This then block, what we will do is we will use this then block here. Instead of block 1, I am using then block. That means which then block should be used, that is decided here. Am I right? That is decided here. Currently what it is? Null. Okay. Now how many blocks we want to render? We want to render 3 blocks. So I am writing here public block 1. It is what type? It is template reference any type, or it is what type? Null, and it is null initially. Like this, I am writing 3 blocks. Block 1, block 2, another one, block 3. Now, very, very important. into this block 1, which template should be rendered? Which template should be rendered? This block 1 template should be rendered. Am I right? What is the ID? Block 1. This must be rendered. This must be rendered. So, into this block 1 reference, which template should be rendered? That is decided by a marker called @viewChild. ViewChild will decide which template is rendered. Template name. What is the template name? Template name is what? Block 1. That's it. Now one more point is there. Here, when you render this, it will render only one time. That means how it should work is, it should be static style. Static means it is loaded once. It can be accessed any number of times. It should load once and it should be accessed any number of times. So this template should be using static memory. Then what we have to do is, here we have to put an attribute static as true. Static as true. If I don't give static as true, it need to be loaded every time whenever requested. But once it is loaded, it can be used any number of times. Then always important to give static true. That means now into this block 1, which template will come? This block 1 template will come. Understood? Like that you need to create for all of them. Second one, what is it? ViewChild. ViewChild, what is it? Block 2. Block 2. And static. Static is true. Similarly, another one. What is it? ViewChild. What is the purpose of ViewChild? ViewChild is responsible for picking up the template and rendering it whenever required. Creating template is done by template reference. Rendering template is done by ViewChild. And here, what is the reference? The reference is what? Block 3. In block 3, what we have to do? Static. Static, we need to set it to true. That's how we need to define. So all the templates are ready. But which template to be used as then block? Which template to be used as then block? What we will do is, on initialization, we will use this dot then block is equal to, we will use block 1. This dot block 1. Understood? That means by default, when component loads, which then block will be used? By default, when component loads, which then block will be used? The block 1 will be used. You can see then block 1 is used. Now, how we can change that according to situation? You can put a drop down, you can put a button, you can put a checkbox, you can use anything. That means how simple. What I will do is, I will write here, we will do one thing. Here, we will put a drop down. In the select, we will give an option. What is that option? I will give here as value. Value is what? Suppose this is block 1. I will say block 1. Okay. Block 1. Similarly, I will add options here. So the block 1 and block 2, another one, block 3. We have block 2 and block 3. That means we have a drop down like this. Now in this, which block I selected, that block should come. Understood? That means which block I am changing here, that block should come. That block should render. That means now we have to write which event? We have to write for this drop down. We have to write an event called change. You know, drop down have a on change event now. On change is the event used for drop downs. You can try buttons also. We can try buttons. We can use anything here. Initially, I will use on change. Okay. On change, we will write a function method. That is block changed. Okay. We will write that here. We need to write a method. So public, what is it? Block changed. It is what type? void type. So it will fire up, and when it fires up, I need to collect the value from the drop down. To collect value from the block, what we will do here, we will declare another property. All properties I will keep at one place. I will create another property called block name. Okay. Block name is what type? String. And initially it is empty. What should happen when it is changed? So this block name I will apply to this drop down. How to use? We have two-way binding technique na? Ng model. What we have to apply? Block name. That means whatever block name they are selecting, that will be stored inside this block name. The value will be stored inside it. Then we need to handle. That means what we have to do now? We need to get the block name and display. Then when block changed, here you can write conditions or you can write switch cases. We can use different. Observe carefully. Block 1, block 2, block 3. These are the values. You maintain the same values here also. That is easy. That is easy. Okay. Now what we will do? We will get the block name. Whenever change happened, this dot then block is nothing but this dot block name. Understood? This dot block name. That means into then block, we will apply the block name. But block name is string na? Block name is string, and this is what? This is expecting the block name, and it is what type? It is a template type na? It is a template type. That means what we have to do is we will simply use these one, block 1 or block 2 or block 3. So it's very simple. Here we will write a switch case. Temporarily I am writing a switch case. Into the switch case we will pass this dot block name. We will pass the block name and we will write a condition case. If the case is block 1, what should happen? If the case is block 1, this dot then block is equal to this dot block 1. Understood? Block 1 should be applied. So then break. Another case we are writing. What is it? If it is block 2, then what should happen? This dot then block is equal to this dot what? Block 2, then break. That means then block is changing. So if you selected block 1 will be applied to then block. If you selected block 2, then block 2 will be applied to then block. How many then blocks are there? Only one. In that, block is changing. Now we have to use another case. What is it? Block 3. Then this dot then block. This dot then block is equal to this dot block 3. We need to apply them and break. That means out of these blocks, which block to apply? That is decided based on your selection. Based on your selection. That means now see what happens here. I selected block 2, then block 2 will come. I selected block 3, then block 3 will come. I selected block 1 and block 1 will come. That means how many then blocks are defined? Only one. But in that one then block, different options are used here. That means can we use multiple then blocks? No. But you can write only one then block and you can render multiple contents there. This mechanism of loading a content explicitly and rendering into the page, it is called as content projection. Content projection. That means you have to create multiple then blocks and you have to decide which then block to load according to situation. According to situation. This is just a syntax example. Let's take one real-time example and try the same. One more time I am showing this. Right, let's take one simple real-world example and see how this works. This is just syntax example. Observe carefully one more time I am showing here. What we done? We created a then block. And into the then block, what we are doing? We are deciding which one to load into that then block according to situation. That means how many then blocks are there? Only one. But how many templates are there to render into that then block? 3. 3, 10, 20, anything you can have. Which template to render into that then block? That we are deciding in this logic. When user is changing the drop down, we are deciding which block to execute. Just for clarity's sake, I will keep this in a heading, right? In a heading, we are adding this. You can keep anything inside, which I will show you. And remember, all these will execute. All these will execute when condition is true. If condition is false, then block will not execute. If condition is false, which block will execute? Else block will execute. If condition is false, else block will execute. Only when condition is true, then the then block will execute. By default, which block first? I selected block 2. I selected block 3. So which block we are selecting, that block will come and it will render here. This kind of changing the presentation is very regular. I will show you real world websites. Suppose I open Flipkart. This is Flipkart. Okay. In this Flipkart, observe carefully. In this Flipkart, I am selecting some product. Any product I selected. Some product I selected. The product related detail came. I will open any one product information. It will come like this. And you can see here, so left side I have thumbnails, and you can see this is front view, this is the side view 1, this is side view 2, this is the another view, this is another view. That means at one location, different views are changing. Different views are changing. That means we kept the preview and we are displaying different views here. Now we can try designing like this. We can try designing like this. Not only this, actually so many other things like details, description, we can use like that. Let's try designing this. For designing this, we need thumbnails, right? We need these images. I will do one thing here. So I will use a snipe tool. Let's design like this and see by using then blocks we can handle or not. I will show you. Let's take a new, I am sniping this one. Okay. I will save this in our project folder. Our project folder means assets, na? In our Angular projects, in the projects, shopping, in the shopping SRC, in assets. In assets, I am saving here. This is view1.png. That is view1.png. We are displaying view1.png. Okay. Let's go to another view. This is another view. Okay. And I will use new. Let me copy this part also. And I will save this as a view2.png. View2.png file it is. Let's go to the third view. I will snipe this part. So, and view3.png. Okay. Now next one. Okay, now save this. So view4. That means we have so many templates to render here. Huh? Now last one is view5. Okay, now I will save this. This is view 5. Okay, view5.png. Now let's create this interface and see here. I will close all this part, and here let's create this. Okay, I will add a new component. I will add a new component, ng generate component product view. Okay, this is product view. I am just creating a product view. Okay, let's keep that product view in the startup. Product view. In app module, product view component. Product view component, it's working fine. Okay, let's design the view and see now. Now observe carefully here in the components, product view HTML. Let's create a design div, class container fluid, and here I will just keep a heading, some printer, and so printer, just heading, yeah. Next, below this I will keep a div. In this we have a simple nav. This will have a class row. This will have class called to, 2 columns, and we have main. In this main we have a class called 10. Okay, here we will keep a div, and we will keep an image. So image have src assets slash view1.png. That is the image we are having. Width is just 50, height also 50. So similar, you can see it is simple like this. Just a small image I am giving here. So let's keep a class border. So border 2. So we have border primary. We have some border. Achha. So this also div is having style width as 50. This space is pixel. Okay, that will be fine. So 52 pixel 5. Okay, that will be better. And I added some P1, P2. Padding 2 is it requires more space. Why? Let it be like this. This enough. Okay. Now I will copy one more, margin bottom 2. So that second image is below. This is view 2. Third image is below. This is view 3. Fourth image is below, view 4. And fifth image, that is view 5. And you can see all those images are here. Am I right? Now what should happen when mouse is over? That detailed large view must come right side. That means now right side, this is the main area. Here we need to change. We need to render multiple templates. Then here we will use a div. In that div we will write the conditions. And below we need template, ng template, template, template. So what is this ng template? In this ng template here, important, this template will have ID. This is view 1. That is the ID. So here what we will do, image source is equal to assets slash view1.png with the 200, height 200, like this we define. That is view 1. So this is view 1 template. Like this, how many templates we need? 5. View 2 template is this. View 3 template is this. So view 4 template is this. View 4 template is this. View 5 template is this. Okay, 5 templates are there. Now which template should be rendered there? That will be decided based on where your mouse is over. Understood? Based on where your mouse is over. You can do one thing. You can right click. But in that website you have seen it is not waiting for click. Whenever mouse is over, automatically it is displaying that view. Then what we have to do here now? Now out of these only one should display. That depends on situation. That depends on situation. So what we will do here now is we will write this simple template view now. We will write here a simple product view TS. Here we need to import two things. One is template reference. Another one is view child from Angular core. We have to create public then block, right? And this then block is what type? It is a template reference type, any type, and null. And by default it is what? Null. By default it is null. Now what should happen here is whenever page initialize, we need to create 5 templates, right? Then how do we create 5 templates? Public, this is view 1. It is of what type? Template reference, any type, and null. Default it is null. Like this, how many, and how to mark this? We have to use @view child. View child, what is the name? ID. ID is what? View 1. ID is view 1. Make sure that it is having the same capitalization and all. Understood? Be careful about what ID references you are giving. They are same capitalization. And we have static. Static we have to set to true. Similarly, how many templates we have to create? Second, third, fourth, and fifth. This is view 1. This is view 2, view 3, view 4, and view 5. Here view 1, view 2, view 3, view 4, and view 5. Okay, which view you want by default? That means here we have to use this dot then block is equal to this dot, which one? View 1. By default view 1 should come. On initialization, by default view 1 should come. Okay. Now here we have to write condition ng if. Ng if, so true, what should happen? Then block. Then block will be, so sorry, then is what? Then block. Then block. There is no else because we are not having any false. By default one will be there, right? We are not having any else. You can have if without else also, you know already. Now you see by default first one will come. By default first one will come. It is displaying the first one. So now you size and all we can adjust. This is 400 size I am giving. That means default size is large so that you can see large. So it will give the large. Now what should happen? Left side when I move the mouse onto these images. When I move the mouse onto those images, that image template should come here. Understood? Now we have to write event for images. That means what is the event here we need to write? All these images, they need an event called, so event called mouse over. In JavaScript, there is an event called mouse over. Mouse over, then what should happen when mouse is over? So we will define one event. method. That is nothing but I will simply put here a function name is mouse over product. That is the method. Okay. Now we need to write this mouse over product. So we need to write a public mouse over product, and this is the method. This method will fire up. Now the question here is, the same will be used. The same will be used for all of them. Understood? Every image mouse over, same function will execute. Then how the function knows which image, on which image mouse is over? For all images, same method is working. Then how method knows on which image mouse is over? In JavaScript, you learned event arguments. You learned event arguments. JavaScript have event arguments. How to send event arguments. So you need to use that event argument. For example, see, when mouse is over, I am sending here. So view1 as a string. Understood? That means now this method is expecting, this is expecting view name as what type? String type. It is expecting view name as string type. That means what it is doing, it is using here. So view name, that is view1 as string. The same here, I am giving, what is it? View2. Here I am using, what is it? View3. I am sending, what is it? View4. And here I am sending, what is it? View5. That means we are sending the view name into the method. Okay, now what should happen is how to collect the view name. I will just put an alert temporarily. In this alert, we will print view name. I will show that here. Mouse over, you see view1 is coming. Mouse over second, you see view2 is coming. Is it clear? That means on mouse over, view name is coming. On mouse over, view3 is coming. It is working fine, right? We are passing the parameter and we are collecting. So now what should happen? This view should be rendered as then block now. That view should be rendered as then block. Can you tell how? That means now then block should be decided based on this, right? Now currently you may write a switch. Later we can use some shortcut techniques for that. Currently we can write a switch, but switch how many cases? 5 cases we have to write. There will be another shortcut technique I will tell you, right? Here initially I am writing switch. Into the switch we are sending view name. Now what we are doing, case. If case is what? View1, right? If case is view1, this dot then block is equal to this dot view1. Then we will put a break. We will put a break. And same condition we need to write for all the views. This is view2, then view2. This is view3, then we have to set view3. And this is view4, and we need to keep view4. And we have view5, and this is view5. This is view5. Now another point, just I will give some CSS also. In CSS what I will do is, I will keep img hover. That means when mouse is over image, when mouse is over image, I will put cursor. Cursor as grab. Grab is hand symbol. When mouse is over the image, it will give an hand symbol. You can see hand symbol will come. When I move the mouse on to second, third, fourth, fifth, those images are coming here. That's what we have designed. So that's what actually Flipkart is having. That means at the same location, different images are there, we are rendering. On mouse over, directly it is accessing and it is displaying. It is displaying. I think last image Size is not set. It is 200 only. We will set this also to 400. Now you can see all will be similar. All will be similar. We can handle lot of conditions like this. For example, if you want to display some text related to that, you can. That means right side, some text related to it. That means for every view, there can be separate description. There can be separate description. This is front view, its description, side view descriptions. We can put separate descriptions and display. There can be multiple things rendered. We can create such things and we can define. So this is a basic example how and where content projection is used. Content projection means multiple templates, but only one template will be used. What is the speciality here is it is not like general CSS. It is removing other views and adding only the view which is matching. Remember, other images are not hidden. They are completely removed. Other images are removed. What is the purpose of ngIf? It is not showing and hiding. ngIf is not showing and hiding. ngIf is adding and removing. That means all 5 images are deleted. Only one image is used. 4 deleted. That means you can see now, you can inspect and see. When you inspect, you can see in the main, actually only one image is there. Only one image is there in the main. Others are removed. There are nothing. Others are removed. Only one is there. Others are removed. And when I move the mouse on to the second one, second will be added. Only one image will be added there. So generally what happens, we will hide other images and we will display them. But here it is going to add everything at one place. Everything at one place. And very important, it is not hiding. It is adding and removing. It is adding and removing. So this is a simple example to understand. So 2 examples here I showed you. One more I will give you one more time. Let's see. Here I am giving one, the previous example is content projection, right? We have content projection dot component dot ts. In this content projection dot component dot ts, this is basic syntax. Content projection dot component dot HTML. In that HTML is this. This is just a syntax example. This is the syntax example. Another example I will give here. This is which one? Product view. Product view dot component dot ts. In product view component ts, this is the logic. Now another option is product view dot component dot html. In HTML, this is the example. This is another example, product view, and this is the example here. This is what we are having. So we have product component and the product view. Now this is done. Now important, I will give you one more time, one more example. Just observe here, right? We will see one more. Just because it is little bit complex and confusion for beginners, I am giving multiple examples, right? Let's see one more time. I will create, let's fetch the data from any API and try that, okay? So let's add a component. So ng generate component. So then demo, I will give then demo and skip test. ng generate component, then demo and skip test. And I am going with then demo startup app module, and here I am adding then demo, and in index then demo. Okay, I'm just using then demo. Fine, this is then demo. This is the page working. Now I will go to this then demo in the TS file. Here we are using the TS file, and here we will use some product. Here you need two things. One is a template reference, another one view child. You need other one. Now I am giving here public. So product any type I will give, because we don't know the data type, and that's fine. It is any type configured, and it is actually we have contract na. I will use that contract. What is it? Product contract. It is product contract, and it is initialized with what we have in the product contract. We have ID na, where it is in contracts. Let's go into contracts, product contract. Acha, it is not product contract. We will import fake store contract. Fake store product. In fake store product, you have ID. ID is a number, and we have title. Title is string. So we have price. Price is number. Another one. Description. Description is string. Another one. We have image. Image is also string. We have rating. Rating is an object. It have rate, which is number, and which have count, that is also number. Okay, this is fake store type. Now we will write one method here. So public, what is load product, is a method void type. What it should do, fetch the data from API and load. For that we have to use fetch http://fakestore.api.com/products/1. I am loading only one product. Then response implies response.json. After that, then we will get the data, and we need to apply this dot data. This dot product is equal to whatever data comes. Okay. So whatever data comes, we are applying to that product. Now these product details we need to display. But very important, how to display the product details in the UI. In the UI, we will create a div, class container fluid, and here we will define a heading, product details, and here we will use ng template. In that template, in this ng template, we will give one ID. This is a preview. In this, we will display the product preview. Image source is coming from, what is it? Product.image. So width is 200, some height also 200. This is preview, and I am creating another template. This template is what? Hash, what is it? Details. And in this details, we will put a data list, data term. So we have title. How do we put the title? Product dot title. Another data term, we will put price. How do we get the price? We will say product dot price. Now, very important is, out of preview and details, only one should display, depending on situation. Then what to do? We will put a button. So we will put a button. So we will say preview, and this is preview. And here we will keep a div. So what is it? So if it is ng if true, then which block to display, then we will use a then block. Okay, there is no then block ready. We will create that then block here. How to create then block? Public then block is what type? Template reference type, null, sorry, any or what type? Null is equal to null. That is the then block defined. Now how many templates you need? 2 templates na? That means we have to define public. So what is the first template? Preview. What type? Template reference type, any, and we have to define null. Okay, another one is what it is? Details. How to mark them? By using view child. This is what? Preview, and we have to set static as a true. What is another one? View child is what? Details, and we need to set static as a true. Now when loads, what should happen? This dot then block should be this dot preview. That means by default, which one will be there? By default, preview will be there. What is it? Product image is not coming. We have image only. Image is missing, I think. What is the console? No error is coming here. I think the property name is wrong. Acha, on initialization we are not loading this dot load product na. Otherwise it will not work. We have to load the product. Now the product image will come here. Now this is preview. When you click on this button, there should be another button. In that button there must be details. You click details should come. And you click preview should come. So that means what you need to do? You need to keep one more button here. So one more button. So what is the button? Details. So when user clicks on details button, then details should come. Preview button, preview should come. Can you try that? Already I designed everything. Only one step you are behind. On click, you have to pass view name and collect the view name. If view is preview, apply preview. Otherwise details. I hope you can do this now. I given already 2 examples on that. On this button click, you need to handle. Can you try this? Right? You put 3-4 buttons. One for preview, another detail, another description. Description means detail information about the product. So in another you can put rating. That means rating separately, detail separately, another one preview separate. In details what you will show? Title and price. Rating separate. So preview separate and description separate. You put 4 buttons, and on those button click, those details should display. Can you try that? You try. If you can try, that means now you are good with the concept of content projection. But this is not great idea if there are many views. Why? Because you already know if and else if I write multi conditions, it has to check every condition and verify. There is an alternative for this. If there are many conditions to handle, like this writing lot of conditions is difficult, you can try another concept called switch. You know, if there are multiple conditions, we don't use if else and all. Else if we don't write. Instead of that, better what you do, we use a switch. We have a switch in the view also. That means we used the switch in the logic. We can use a switch instead of ngIf. We can use that so that if there are many conditions, we can simply handle them by using a switch selector. How we can reduce this into shorter form? By using switch. That we will see in next session. right? Tomorrow we will continue with that. First try this. I hope you understood. Try this. Otherwise I will explain again tomorrow. Understood? Because this is very important at interview level. You try this. If you feel any difficulty, I will explain one more time tomorrow with another example. If you can do this, then we can continue to other directives. Tomorrow we will see how to handle switch selectors. Okay, right. Tomorrow we'll continue then. Right.